We're now about to go live in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now live.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday. Oh my gosh. That is Voices of Spring Waltz by Johann Strauss II. There are two Johann Strausses. There's the Waltz King, and then I guess there's the Waltz Prince, Peter. I don't know, but there are two Johann Strausses.
Okay.
So he's got this great waltz. We all know that. Have you ever waltzed to those Strauss waltzes at all?
Probably.
Oh my God, it's so much fun. I did it once in Vienna. I waltzed with a woman in Vienna at this park in Vienna, and
I've never been to the continent.
oh my God. Well, I did this thing when I was very young. It was my first college. Out of college, I taught school for a year at Agawam, and then I taught no longer, but and then that summer I took all my pay that I was receiving in the summertime because it was prorated, and I went to Europe with my cousin. Yeah. I took my cousin who was graduating from high school. His parents wanted to give him a life experience, and little did they know that I, would be battling the wages of youth. Wages of youth, what do you call it? When you're back and forth. He didn't want to go into St. Peter's Cathedral in Rome. He said,
The shyness of youth.
Yeah. Well, he said to me, we're on the steps of St. Peter's. I said, are you wanting to go in there with me, please? And he said, no, what do I want to see another church for? St. Peter's Cathedral in Rome. Honest to God. I lost him somewhere along the way for, I think I've told this story, but I lost him, and we were supposed to, fly out, and for the last week he was with a woman in Ireland by himself, and I was on the continent. I was supposed to go to Luxembourg. I had no idea what to do. I didn't want to call his parents and say, well, he's in Europe somewhere, and I have his ticket for the plane, and I don't know.
I would have.
Yeah, well, I didn't. I let him go, and I said, well, let's hope he shows up at the airport. And guess what? He did. He did. Amazing.
I would have said, blank to be you.
Boy, honest to God. And, it was another one of those things. It was the time, it was 1972, so it was a
different era.
Yeah, a different era, and young folks were using drugs or marijuana and all that sort of stuff.
They're doing it more now.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was the first thing that we landed in Amsterdam, and the first word out of anyone's mouth was, do you want some dope? And, of course, I've got this young kid next. Oh, at any rate, we had a good time that summer. But and as part of it, I waltzed in Vienna with the.
You realize nowadays we're overstimulated, over-medicated, and over everything, and they wonder why we're all messed up.
Oh man, I'm telling you. At any rate, that's Peter
right?
Coles. Peter Coles in the center square. Everybody, the kitten of the keys, the Duke of the Dials, my great producer and great friend, and I am Bob Plass.
What a crazy weekend, Bob.
Was it for you?
Yes.
WestfieldOnWeekends.com. We had a lot of events as well. What did you do? What happened?
Friday night, myself and my fiance went through the basement, and instead of sorting through stuff, I decided to throw everything away. Anything that I hadn't touched or used in several years.
This is your basement.
Was gone. Was gone.
Okay, got it.
And she's been doing the same thing, but I threw away so many cables that could be recycled and reused, and I just didn't care anymore.
Got it. Yeah.
Like it would take more effort to coil them all up and box them, and I literally, for the first time in my life, I just threw them all away.
Well, if I could do that.
Luckily, my brother had, because he's got the construction company, the fence company had a roll-off dumpster. And my son was shocked because we filled that thing.
Wow. Oh, my God. You filled the dumpster?
There was just crap everywhere.
Holy mother.
So that was the beginning of my weekend. That took 3 hours on Friday.
Sure.
And Christy had already done some of that beforehand, but, just going through everything. Then Saturday, I wake up, get ready to go to Mount Holyoke, walk to the door. Christy's just ahead of me, and she stops dead in her tracks. She had to take the dog out to go pee in the morning. It's 6:30 in the morning,
Yeah.
There's a bear sitting on the front lawn 10 feet from the door.
Oh, my God.
Eating my trash.
Ah!
Now, this is 6:30 in the morning.
Wildlife preservation.
Well, we found out through the camera system that I have that he walked up minutes before I got to the door.
Oh, gosh.
So he might have been en route. So
Yeah.
I yelled at him,
Yeah.
and apparently I speak bear. I didn't know I speak bear. But apparently I do because he started wanting to climb a tree. And I told him to get off the tree, and he did. And then the dog saw him and started barking. So between me yelling at him and the dog barking, he took off.
Wow.
Then I had to go because I was already late now. Now I'm late, right?
Yeah, sure.
And I had to tell Christy, I'm like, that trash needs to get picked up like ASAP. As soon as you take the dog out, get the trash. And I told her to spray
Was it in bags and stuff?
It was in a bag, yeah.
Oh,
There was
so
one bag.
Oh, wow.
So that's not going to stop a bear. So I told her to grab some bleach spray and spray the can so the scent gets knocked down. The scent of the food. Which is what she did and got back inside because she was scared that the bear was going to come back. I looked around and I didn't see him when I was leaving the driveway.
Oh, gosh.
So we got lucky with that. And then, then my son came over and helped bring the trash bags up. And
So do they look when they're eating food? Are they on all fours, or are they
he
sitting?
was just sitting down in the front yard.
He's sitting and holding the food and like munching, like you
Yep.
would. Oh my gosh.
I have video. I'll show it to you later.
Oh, okay, got it. Oh my gosh, amazing! I don't know what to do with what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to stand still. No, you're supposed to scream and yell and act crazy.
Scare them. Yeah. So I stayed in the doorway, opened the door. So in case he charges, now I can close the door really fast and stop him. And then at that point you got to call the police because they're probably gonna have to shoot it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Really?
They try to remove it if possible, but if they have to, they have to.
They don't go shoo, or they
Yeah,
don't
but
have
there's some bears that just don't.
Oh my gosh.
This bear, I don't think, was tagged. He was pretty young.
What we call a bear in New England, I know there's grizzlies out west. What
Black
are
dudes
they?
are black bear,
black
brown
or
bear.
brown bears? We don't have another name for them?
No,
Ursa major, Ursa minor?
I have no idea.
I don't know. Ursa is Latin for bear. Did you know that? Well, you know that. Yes, you do.
Probably somewhere in my brain.
Peter, Ursa major, Ursa minor, the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Isn't it called the Big Bear and the Small Bear? I don't know why.
I'm not sure. And then Sunday was move out day at Mount Holyoke.
Oh my gosh! All the women are moving out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
okay.
got a call from a parent.
Yeah.
I dropped my phone in the slot between the elevator and the floor. I'm like, well, that'll have to wait till tomorrow.
Wait a minute.
I
The
can't-
phone went into the elevator shaft.
Yes.
Oh, Peter.
I can't send an officer in there. That's all kinds of code violations.
Right.
And they're not going to call in somebody from the elevator company or from the electricians.
No, I think this is it. That phone is gone.
Well, it's not gone, but
Well, you know where it
there's no
is.
regular staff on a weekend, right?
But who in their right mind is going to say, okay, we're going to pay $500 or $600 to get Peter's phone back for him when it can sit there and then we'll clean out? Don't they clean out regularly?
I don't know about that. Yeah, I know they do regular servicing on them.
Yeah, so you're going to have to wait until the service people. How do you get under a?
There's a crawl space.
Oh, there is a crawl
usually
space.
in the shaft. But I'm not going to send an officer into that danger with a live elevator.
No, not at all.
And they were mad at me about it.
That it fell out of your hand.
No, that I wasn't going to send somebody to go get it for him.
What? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they were,
I mean,
they were mad at me. I was like, seriously?
Yeah. What would you have done? Somebody to get it? You mean somebody to go into the trap door and what is called Spider-Man or somebody?
No, so like I think there's an access hatch at the base of the shaft, so
Yeah.
they can work on the mechanics of it. But that's for a trained technician, and they have to shut off the elevator and everything else. I'm not sending a guy in there with the elevator still live, right?
No, not at all.
You know, we don't know how to shut off the elevator. No bueno.
I don't get it, and you shouldn't be
It's like
responsible. Anybody, the idea that your phone should not have fallen into that crack. How would you have known that would happen?
And honestly, in my career, it's not the first time it's happened.
Really? Oh my gosh! I'm always losing a phone in between my seats.
It's happened.
In the car.
Same idea, but it's happened several times in my career there.
That your phone has gone.
That somebody's phone has dropped through that little slot, that 1 inch wide gap between the elevator car and the floor.
You know, I got to take a look. I've never seen this before. You mean you could actually look and see?
There's a gap.
There is. Oh, there has to be, doesn't there?
Yes.
In order for the thing to go into the thing.
Yeah, right.
Oh, my God. Look at that green behind me. Oh, my God.
Poof, overnight.
Spring has sprung.
Are you ready for the next, 10 days of rain?
Are we going to have 10 days more of rain?
I think like after tomorrow, it's gonna be like 10 days of rain. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Ready for it being like Seattle?
Yeah. Well, it's sort of like this is the green of Ireland behind me on here.
It's right. Yeah, that's right off. That's right on outside on Smith Avenue.
It's so gorgeous. It really is.
So starting Wednesday, we have showers. Less of a chance, like 24% chance. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday the 21st, showers. Tuesday the 22nd, showers. The 23rd, showers. The 24th, showers.
Oh my God!
25th.
What? Okay, so I am doing the Pine Hill Cemetery Graveyard Conversations tour of the cemetery, which
it's going to be warm though.
This is Sunday from 1 until 4. Okay. So how does Sunday look? Does Sunday look good?
Only a 24% chance of precipitation.
Well, there we go. Okay. So this is a...
so you might have a good shot for that one.
We're honoring veterans there. It's the Pine Hill Cemetery. It seems like we've been preparing for this for years. Or what? No, months. Well, we have been. We've been meeting a long while. And it will happen 1 to 4. You can get your tickets ahead of time at the Athenaeum, the Westfield Athenaeum at 6 Broad Street. And the tours have, I think there are maybe 8 to 10 ghosts of veterans in the cemetery.
Stories of veterans.
Well, yeah, they're people who have died because they were soldiers, and both men and women, and we're telling their story, and you go from grave to grave. So if you're a veteran and you want to celebrate the wonderful work of our soldiers,
does that cemetery go all the way back to the Civil War?
Oh yeah. Oh my God, it goes further back than that.
I think, when did the old burying ground officially close?
No, it's not the old burying ground.
No, but when did it close and transition to Pine Hill?
Oh, good question. Because
that would be where Pine Hill, I think, would pick up, right?
Yeah.
Does it go back to Revolutionary War?
Yes, it does, because we're doing the Revolutionary War.
Even French and Indian?
French and Indian.
That was a couple of years before.
You know,
that was about a decade before the Civil War.
The
Revolutionary War.
That would have been 1820?
No,
wait a minute. 1700s.
1760 something, French and Indian.
Yeah, no, I think it's probably not. I think it's more like mid 1800s or so, 1840 maybe. I don't know that. All I know
French
is
and Indian War was 1754 to 1763.
Okay, so French and Indian. I think we have French and Indian over at the burial ground when we do the ghost tour over there. We have it there, but I don't think that there. I think we're starting with the Civil War, and then going from there up into even Afghanistan, if I'm not mistaken, or Iraq War, or perhaps beyond World War II. Well, it's Korea, et cetera, et cetera. But at any rate, the stories are all very, very interesting, and they've got great volunteers. And it's Pine Hill Cemetery, Friends of the Pine Hill Cemetery. on that board or whatever we call it. We all meet, and you're welcome to become a friend of the Pine Hill Cemetery. But these folks, they're really a good group of committee members. They've been promoting this all over the place, and I'm hoping that the money goes to keeping our history alive in a tangible way. And cemeteries, especially Pine Hill, were designed for people to enjoy, believe it or not. People used to picnic out there in cemeteries. That's what they did for entertainment. You wander through the cemetery, you read the stones, you meet your family, your ancestors. You got grass between the plots, and you're having picnics. It's a normal thing for folks to do back then, and we don't do that so much now. Although I do. You like to wander a cemetery, Peter? No, you're
not really.
Oh, I enjoy that. Oh my God, to see who's buried next to my family, or to say, oh my gosh, look at this. There is there's the Knappich stones. I remember so and John Knappich, or so and so. It's about memory, you know. Yep. So at any rate, that's this coming Sunday that we are doing that. I want to also tell you that Westfield End Weekends has a great exhibit. It's called In Full Flower, and it has the work of more than 15 artists. There are, I think, close to 35 beautiful, beautiful pieces of artwork from these wonderful artists in our town, both male and female, and they come from all over the area. Many of them are part of a group called Arts West that are they meet informally. They're artists that are all friends, and they meet informally. And I got to thank Kathy Guidetti and Marie Crane-Yvonne and Marie Flayhive and Sanchi Vishwanath, who all helped me to put it together. And you got to come down and you got to see it. Now, I really, sometimes timing is everything. Bob planned an artist reception on the day before Mother's Day, and then we decided that we would be open on Mother's Day, just in case folks came down. Now we had maybe, 5 to 10 people come in on Mother's Day, and we had about 50 people on a Saturday. They were hoping to see some live flowers. Well, on Mother's Day, the florist capital of America, florists in America are very, very busy on Mother's Day. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
I think it's the second most popular holiday for flowers in America.
You should ask Rick about that one.
Yes, I'd love to have him in. Well, Tammy Salumi at Taste of what do you call that? Flowers by Webster is part of that. We also have the students from our horticultural technology department here. There is also Blooms and wonderful European design florist Katie from Katz Creations. Katie Penerzik. I can't pronounce that last name. But Katz Creations and Colleen Bresnahan. Now, those are florists that hopefully will be appearing with their work throughout the month. The show goes on May 1st to May 31st. You got to see it. It's gorgeous and it's different, at any rate. All right, hey, let's play a song. Today is Hugs Day, International Hugs Day, I think, or International Hugs Week or something like that. So
okay.
that got me thinking. And
that's not good.
Oh, no, I know. I started to think, well, is there a song about hugging and whatever? And I remembered one from my youth. And I'm going to play that in the next song I play. But this is the modern version of the song that I like. It's called Put Your Arms Around Me, Honey. Put Your Arms Around Me, Honey is by Natasha Bedingfield, I think.
That's the right name, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know her at all?
I do know her, yeah.
Yeah. Her work is really good. This is excellent. It's a long song, so I'm fading out at the end because it just repeats and repeats and repeats. But it sort of sticks into your head. Here is Natasha Bedingfield. Put Your Arms Around Me, Honey.
Underwriting for Community Radio on WSKB is brought to you in part by Rockies. Over 30 convenient locations throughout Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Florida. One of the nation's largest ACE dealers. Expertise and great product selection in paint, hardware, lawn and garden. That's Rockies. Rock solid service since 1926. On the web at rockies.com.
Saturdays were made for polka. Tune in to the Polka Jammer Network starting at 6 a.m. and Polka Hall of Famer Billy Bellina, Breakfast at BB at 8:30.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 at 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
It's International Nurses Day, and I celebrate all the nurses. Oh, it's the whole week. Oh, my
Yeah,
gosh.
so we were lighting up City Hall in the color of apricot.
Apricot is the color of nurses?
I guess so. That's what I was told the Light City Hall has.
Oh, apricot.
Apparently, that's a color for the week.
Okay, so apricot, well, I love the Nurses of America. You know, they're the ones that keep hospitals really going. If you really think about it, let me take my glasses off here. I'll open them up. There we are. You like that? Yeah. At any rate, what I wanted to say is that when you go into a hospital and you're in that bed, the day-to-day stuff, the day-to-day spirit is given with by the nurses. And so, oh God, I salute everyone. Do you know a nurse? Anybody in your family become a nurse at all?
My son's girlfriend is a patient care tech becoming a nurse.
Oh, really? Oh, wild.
Yeah.
Wow. My niece out in Wisconsin is a wonderful nurse, and she actually has her own business now where she goes and she does these stuff about health and how to be healthy, and she does Instagram stuff and whatever. It's really kind of cool. Just so cool. Hey, I hear a knock on the door. I think our next guest is coming. Trudy News is coming in to see me today. But at any rate, International Nurses Day, we salute you. And I wanted, well, let's welcome, I'm going to, we have, you know where we are here? Why don't you show everybody where we are, and I'll get up and open the door for, and you'll see us as we prepare, and you folks who are listening on the radio, I'll
Do you want to play a song or something?
No, I'm just going to, you can play a little bit more of that. Why don't you play a little bit more of that waltz, that springtime waltz, and I'll get up and
oh boy,
and it will.
Okay. I'll figure out something.
All right, here we go.
This is where Bob gets up and walks over and gets his guest out because, you know, he just took a break and the timing wasn't working properly. Come on in, we're on the air. The more the merrier.
No, we're actually right here. We're on the radio right now. We're on the television. I got up and I'm just being the kind person that I am.
It's not even 1:30.
No, it's not. You're okay. So you want to sit out there for 4 minutes?
No, I'm
you
fine.
go. Get out of here. Get out of. Put your ears on here,
Okay.
and welcome everyone. Now you don't sit. Well, sometimes Jimmy Fallon gets up to welcome people, right? Shouldn't I do that? Isn't that a nice thing?
Sure. But usually they do that during the break, Bob.
Oh, they usually.
It's usually done during the break.
Well, you're right. I usually take a break, but we just had a break, so it was. You see, I played some music and "Put Your Arms Around Me, Honey" by Natasha Bedingfield.
I do not know that
Yeah.
song.
No. Okay. Well, it's a wonderful, catchy little tune. So we played that, and then I came back, and there was a sentence or two repartee between Peter and I, and then I noticed you were coming in. We were celebrating the Nurses of America. You know any nurses?
My sister was a nurse. And
See, everybody seems to know a nurse. In a
And
family.
my daughter was a nurse for a long time. She's a midwife now, but she was a labor and delivery nurse.
Oh, wild. Midwives only work on babies, is that right?
Well, they work on labor and delivery. And
Labor and
OB stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Your daughter followed in whose footsteps?
Her own.
Her own footsteps.
Yes.
Not in your footsteps.
No.
True. Well, where did that come from? Where does that spirit wanting to empty bedpans and all of that sort of stuff is not? I don't want to see blood. I'd be a terrible. Well, I try to be helpful as a nurse, but I don't know what to do.
My sister started out as a teacher. She was a teacher for a couple of years, and it just was not for her. And so she went to nursing school and became a nurse.
Do you think that there is a social action gene or something that is in people, or what causes that wish to serve? I mean, like we're all civil servants are always, first, everybody, this is Trudy Knowles, if you don't know her already, the fabulous author of some great books and a an alumni of Westfield State faculty. Are you emeritus or something now?
Yes.
What are you?
Emerita, emeritu,
Emerita. They do that.
Yes,
that
correct.
they use that feminine thing.
Yep, yep.
Yeah. What does that mean? Emerita. Esteemed?
It means I can still go park at Westfield State.
Oh.
I don't know.
You
I
still
don't know
have
what
a.
it means, yeah.
Yeah, and I can still Google you there, or what do you call it?
Right.
Send-
I still have an email address there.
Yeah. Where were you in what department?
I was in the teacher education department.
Teacher education department.
Right.
Were you always an education teacher?
For 25 years in higher ed, I was.
Yes.
Before that, I had many different jobs, including starting a private school, teaching, et cetera, and making harnesses for draft horses.
Of course. of course. Which fits
In your
right
spare
in.
time, of course.
Really. Did you ever use those in keeping the kids,
No,
hold
but-
them up and say, look, this is going to be you?
No, but we did live on a farm that used draft horses. I didn't, drive the draft horses.
I see.
I just made the harnesses.
Trudy is a great contributor to the social, the community life of Westfield in many different ways. And we saw her at Articulture's last great event, which, it's Artworks Westfield's Articulture.
Right.
That was this past Saturday, and you were there. You were selling books.
Selling books, yes,
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah.
But I do want to say something to all the allergy sufferers out there.
Okay, what?
I feel your pain. Many people love May, but
Yeah.
us allergy sufferers do not like May. So I'm just putting it out there. Blessings to you all.
Well, thank you very much. I as a they always ask you, you find this yourselves? Ask yourselves this question. When you see do you have any allergies on a form? I'm always going, grass, trees, but then I think, is it really that? I mean, peanuts or I don't know. What are your allergies?
Well, I'm allergic to every grass, tree, bush, weed, flower, any living thing out there I'm allergic to. So that's what makes May so bad, because it all just... I'm allergic to lots of food. I'm allergic to a couple of some animals, and I'm allergic
So
to...
what do you mean some animals? Name
Some
those
animals.
animals. Is
Well,
it a bear?
it's-
Because you wouldn't not have wanted to be at Peter's house. over
It
there.
was cats and dogs, but also I
Cats
found out I'm allergic to cows, which is... I just had some allergy testing done. They told me that. And there's a couple of medications I'm allergic to. So
Trudy.
lots of foods.
Trudy, I went into
Is that like cow hair, or is that
I
cow
don't-
meat, or
No, not cow meat. I don't...
so it must be the hair then, the dander.
Yeah, I don't hang around with cows a lot, so I've never experienced an allergy attack. around.
I
Well-
was like, huh, what?
Wait one sec. So did you do that allergy thing where they put under your skin or something? So they have one for cows?
They apparently they do, because that was on the list. Yes.
Oh, honest to God. Okay, so I did that. I went up, I paid the money to go to some place in Northampton that was connected, or they said, you really need to do an allergy test. And so they told me what things I was allergic to.
Right.
And then I started to think, but they now want me to go in every week and have a shot, and it just sort of seemed to be like a machine. And I said, I'm not going to do this. Let's see if I can exist without it, and maybe just buy something over the counter or whatever. I
Right.
did, and I got through it.
Right.
And I thought it was sort of not a scam, but it just was a quote unquote waste of money for this man.
Well, it certainly hasn't been for me, although I've done through allergy testing like 4 times, and I'm now in the process of getting shots to see. But a friend of my son's described his experience of lying on the ground, sobbing, nose dripping all over, and eyes burning, and that's what it's like to people who have severe allergies.
Oh my gosh.
It's like I live with cold eye patches on my, packs on my eyes.
Really, really. And does this stop now? I mean,
June. I've got another week
June.
or two, yeah.
Oh, you got another week or two.
For me, I mean, there are people then who get fall allergies or something else.
Right. But you're fine in the fall.
Yes.
Yeah. I think
Anyway.
I'm more allergic in the fall. I think I have hay fever more than I do that grass thing or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
I that must be very difficult when you're trying to choose where you're going to go on a holiday or whatever. Would the desert work for
Well,
you?
no. So for about 9 years, I took students from Westfield State to Costa Rica the end of May.
Yeah. Well, that has desert.
And I
climate.
have absolutely no problem in Costa Rica, and
Right.
their whole country is trees and bushes and
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
But I think the difference is that in Costa Rica, the trees let off their pollen all year long. And in Massachusetts, it's like, boom,
Oh, yeah.
happy May 1st, and the entire, your whole
yeah.
car is yellow, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
I think that's the difference. So, and I could go live in the desert, or I could I'm hoping these shots that I'm taking now will help me for next year.
Okay, so those shots, because it sounds like you're in my experience where I'm paying for shots every other week or something. Are you paying for a shot to keep you from being allergic to cows forever? I mean,
No, I
that
don't-
seems like a waste of time.
I don't think cattle is part of it.
No.
I think that it's mostly environmental is my big one.
Yeah.
And then I get to one I think is animals, but I don't think cows are part of it. And one is mold. Apparently I'm allergic to molds, but that never seems to bother me.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
anyway, it's
Oh, it's a terrible, terrible thing.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah. Is today a high pollen day? How do you?
Well,
what
my-
do you do? I mean, like, do you check every day the weather and you
No,
look at
I
the
don't.
pollen and say, "I'm not going to go out"? You wear a mask.
No,
Well, a
actually,
mask doesn't help, or does it?
What would help is if I went out with goggles every day and wore a mask.
Oh my God.
But I forget to do that. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
with that
any-
beautiful face, who would want to? Why
Exactly.
deprive us all?
But I just wanted to tell the allergy sufferers out there that I feel your pain, and we'll get through this month.
That's exactly right. And this is the mother of a nurse speaking, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So for the nurse folks out there, you're carrying on the tradition by saying, being kind,
Right.
in about your allergy system. Well, including all of us allergy. Who is not? I wonder who doesn't have an allergy in America today.
Right. So people react to different things, but anyway.
Yeah. Do you ever?
But the Pioneer Valley, this area in Springfield, is one of the worst in the country. One of the worst in the country. Yeah.
Did you know that? Oh, I no.
And there was
St.
an
Peter's not there.
yeah, there was an article in the front
No,
page.
I knew that.
Oh, you know.
It's because of the shape of the geography.
Yeah, and asthma is worse in Springfield than almost anywhere in the whole country.
Yeah, because the air just settles and doesn't really move all that much.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Well,
Because the air comes west to east, and the valley's north to south, and it's pretty solid all the way, almost from Canada all the way down because of the Connecticut River.
oh gosh.
We're in a sub valley here. It's not much better in Westfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. So
Anyway, that's enough about allergies.
All right.
We're
Oh,
gonna
no, yes.
keep going
I'm
about-
going to get you a ticket to a desert island would work, wouldn't it?
That would be beautiful.
Without any animals whatsoever. But then you would have to eat pineapples or something.
I'm allergic to.
All right. Listen, do you know that if I said, do you know the song "Put Your Arms Around Me, Honey"?
No.
You don't know
Maybe
that?
I know it if I
Wait
hear
a minute.
it. But
No, put your arm. This is 1910, around the turn of the century. Put your arms around me, honey. Hold me tight. Cuddle up and huddle up with all your might. Oh, da, 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 da. You know that song?
no.
That was one of my youth songs.
1910,
1910.
and that was one of your youth.
Well,
songs.
no, my mother used to sing that to me.
1943, Bob.
19 well actually it was written in 1910, but there was a big hit. This woman named B. Wayne, Beawain, was on your hit parade apparently. or she was the singer, and she had a big hit in 1943 with "Put Your Arms Around Me, Honey," and it was on the show Your Hit Parade on the radio. Do you remember?
Yeah, I do remember that.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
So here is B. Wayne singing "Put Your Arms Around Me, Honey." It's National Hug Day, but I'm not going to get near you because I've been known to moo, and I. At any.
I'm probably allergic to you.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I
yeah,
get it.
that's exactly right. Here's that great song.
Number 6. And lovely B. Wayne sings the song that your Hit Parade survey finds you like 6th best of all this week. Put Your Arms Around Me, Honey.
Put your arms around me, honey, hold me tight. Huddle up and cuddle up with all your might. Oh, won't you roll those eyes? Eyes that I just idolize. When they look at me, my heart begins to float. Then it starts a-rocking like a motorboat. Oh, I never knew any boy like you.
Underwriting for community radio is provided by the YMCA of Greater Westfield. Every day, the YMCA strengthens the community through programs and services focused on youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. For all the Y's many programs and services, visit us on the web at www.westfieldymca.org. The YMCA, 67 Court Street in downtown Westfield. We're more than a gym. We're a cause.
Join me, Tina Gorman, each week from 6 to 8 a.m. for Wake Up Wednesday, when my guests and I discuss health, wellness, and lifestyle reimagined.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 at 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday, and that's where you are, May 13th, 2025, and I am Bob Platts from Westfield on Weekends. Go to westfieldonweekends.com for all the things that are happening, from the Info Flower Show at Westfield's beautiful, the Wow Center at 105 Elm Street. We have bingo there. We're actually, this summer, there's going to be something called Elm Street Playhouse, which is the beginning of some theater events at our WOW Center. Up close and theatrical, I suppose. They're very up close, and we're working with Steve Henderson, who is an equity playwright, an actor and director, very well known in the area. And our first one is May 30th, and May 30th and May 31st. So it's like a Friday and a Saturday afternoon as well, so that folks can, who don't like to go out at night can see a wonderful little theatrical production. The first one is called the Haverstown Town Meeting. I'll get that right. Haverstown Town Meeting, and it's a town meeting that where it's very funny, and it is a typical small town meeting. So for all you guys who enjoy watching the city council, etc., town meetings, this is a humorous take on that, and it's got great reviews wherever it's played. So be looking out for the Elm Street Playhouse at the Wow Center, 105 Elm Street. And we also have Up Close and Musical, the summer series this summer. And so in air conditioning, you can hear some of our finest student graduates from Westfield State, as well as some local groups that are being put together by our great friend Jacob Flaren, our 28-year-old board member in Westfield on weekends. So at any rate, hey, Trudy, you're in the newspaper yet again. You're a writer, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And you're an author as well.
Right.
But
Correct.
you write, sometimes you write letters, sometimes what do you call this, a column?
They call it a guest commentary, that particular one.
Are you a guest? Do they pay you to be a guest commentator?
No.
No.
I just send this in and say, I don't know if you can use this, and
then they call you and they say, send pictures of your that accompany the article?
Well, this particular one they did, because this one was about my dad, and so they said, do you have some... And I hadn't, in the original one I sent in, I hadn't even named my dad. And they said, name your dad and send us some pictures.
Oh, I gotcha. Well, your dad is the Robert Wagner senior lookalike of the year. He looks just like Robert Wagner and in this day and age. And he's got that great smile, looks like a Hollywood movie star, and he was a minister or something.
Well, he was a minister. He spent most of my growing up, not in a church, but at colleges and universities. Like he was the university chaplain at the University of Nebraska. No, university pastor at the University of Nebraska, the chaplain at Center College in Kentucky. Then he moved back into a church. So he began and ended his career as pastor of a church.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So the headline reads, Trudy Knowles, guest viewpoint. Okay.
Guest viewpoint.
This is your viewpoint.
Correct.
Okay. Dad's lessons, bearing witness, being part of solution. And we've got this, this man here is staring at, what is that?
I have no idea what that picture is.
I think that's
It's at the World War II memorial.
Yeah, World War II.
They put that picture in.
Okay, so it's a soldier, Korean War veteran, visits the World War II Memorial on Veterans Day in Washington. The author writes, my dad's young life was shaped by the Great Depression and World War II. He watched the world at the brink of destruction in a fight against authoritarianism. I get the right syllable. And dictatorship. Because of that, he never lost the belief that life was tenuous and we must treat it very carefully. Now, when you sat down, when you put pen to paper here, what was your goal as a writer?
So when my dad died in 2002, all of his boxes, my dad was a writer, a poet, a minister, boxes and boxes of sermons that he had written, and all that stuff was shipped from California to my house because of the 5 siblings. I was the only one with the attic. And so all of his stuff. And so
remember that when you're choosing where to live.
Make sure you don't have an attic.
Yeah.
And so I had this great opportunity to go through all of these, boxes and boxes of files of sermons. And so I started reading some of his old sermons. And this particular one, this particular article I wrote shortly after Trump was elected the first time.
Oh, you wrote this article before?
This appeared today, but the first idea about writing this was in 2016.
Oh, okay.
And I'm reading this sermon of my dad saying, he said, in America, the home of the free, there are more walls keeping people in or holding people out than in almost any other country. And he goes on to say that we can keep these walls or we can tear them down, but I cannot call you a Christian if you choose to keep the walls standing.
Oh.
And it just struck me at that time. And then he
Right.
goes on in the sermon to talk about authoritarianism and how 2 years before he wrote this sermon, the world had defeated Hitler and authoritarianism.
So this was 1940s that he was writing this sermon.
This sermon was written in 1947.
Oh,
And it was in one of the files that I'm going through.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah.
And it struck you that what he said had some bearing on today.
Absolutely, because and I kind of redid it before I submitted it to the paper to make it a little more, now, 2024 instead of
Right.
2016,
Right.
2025. But he talks about, if I can't call you a Christian if you don't want to tear down walls. I can't call you a Christian if you don't want to feed the hungry. I can't call you a Christian if you don't want to heal the sick, welcome the immigrant. And he was unafraid, and he spoke like that his entire life. Those were the sermons he gave.
And was he speaking that way to his children at home? Because you have always been sort of on, you're the revolutionary spirit. You're the grown-up hippie that I love.
I won't say that.
I don't know
right,
whether you
right.
accept the word hippie. What do you?
Yeah, I was a wannabe. I don't know.
All right. Okay.
I would say that he didn't speak those words. He lived the life. He lived the example, so that every single day, I saw both of my parents living a life of social justice. Whether it was protesting against the Vietnam War, whether it was supporting farm migrant workers during Cesar Chavez, whether it was marching for civil rights. I saw them do that all the time. And my dad would say things like, you've got a lot to give to the world, make sure you give it to the world. He would say things like that, but yeah.
Your father's journey, he was in the war?
No,
he was never in a war.
He was first of all, he was a conscientious objector.
Oh, wow.
And he volunteered to be a chaplain in the war, to go over to Europe as a chaplain. But the war ended before. So that was one of the letters I found, was the Navy or whatever thanking him for offering for this service. Yeah. So part of this came because someone asked me once, in all seriousness, how I could be a liberal if my dad was a minister.
Oh, wow.
And I said, how could I not be? The gospel that my dad loved so much talked about feeding the poor, talked about welcome the immigrant, talked about health care. How could I not be for universal health care or for welcome, and,
Could I just not counter it, but I'd like you to say something about the idea, is it liberal or conservative? It's conservative to think otherwise? Because I'm thinking of Ronald Reagan's City on a Hill. I know, that came from St. Augustine.
Right.
Who our Pope is our new Pope.
Love him.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in a bit. Yeah,
I don't know anything about him, but I love him.
So we did. There is the other side to this as well, and okay. So
yeah, I would say that the terms liberal and conservative have taken a completely new meaning, because what conservative used to mean was fiscally conservative.
Yes.
Right, and now it means anything that will help people we don't want to do. I don't know if that's what it means, but so it's taken on a really nasty. I don't believe in fiscal conservatism. I believe we're the richest country in the world, and we could feed the hungry.
Right.
We could house every homeless person. We are the richest country in the world. So, but I understand people who are fiscally conservative. But those two terms don't even mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So, and the idea of Christian, Well, the Jewish folks say there is the mitzvah, and and Muslim folks, and
Right.
and even the atheist has some wish to give back, or there's a segment of the population that wants to give back. There's a segment that just doesn't seem to want to get back.
Right. But so I do end this sort of with my father, along with my mother, saw their Christian faith as a solution to the problems of the world. Whether or not you believe in the divinity of Christ, the story is one of compassion, love, and forgiveness.
Oh, there it is.
Right. It's a story of feeding the hungry, welcoming the immigrants, healing the sick, visiting the lonely and imprisoned.
Right.
So whether you believe, well, it is interesting. At the end of my dad's life, he said to me, "I don't know whether Jesus was real or not."
No,
And
was that in the hospital or someplace?
No. It's just like he said, "But I love the story. I love that story.
The message.
The message of that story and the words, and so."
But it's I think since then there's proof that there was a historical Jesus or something.
Exactly.
And that historical Jesus is always interpreted in many different ways,
right.
whatever. And there is the literal translation and the metaphorical and et cetera, et cetera. So, but that message of inclusion, of being kind, living in a world where, again, we always have conversations like this on this show where I'm saying I want a world without walls. I really want a world without walls in every way. And it will never, ever happen because folks it's just in our genes. But maybe it's also in our genes to strive for a world without walls, without borders, with the idea that there's a humanity. When if we were all on our deathbeds together, we might suddenly agree.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah, we might look at one another and say, "Hold my hand."
Right, but even in the preamble, I think it's a preamble to our Constitution, they talk about we do all this for the common good. And I think a lot of people forget about that in this country. We don't have, stoplights to stop me from doing. We do it for the common good because it protects other people. Otherwise, don't have stoplights. Just let me go as fast as I want down the road.
Sure.
Don't have speed limits. Just let me do what I want. But in this country, it's for the common good. And we have really, really forgotten that in so many ways.
Do they teach that in school? Is there?
Well,
where
I mean,
does
I learned.
It belong as an education?
Didn't you have to learn the preamble to the?
No, I never did. How does it start? We, the people of the United States.
In order to form a more perfect union, do for the common defense, for the common good. Something I forgot it.
Okay, got it.
Right.
Got it.
Right.
But where does that belong in a college curriculum? Let's say, or in an educational curriculum? Is it?
Well,
that's a concept of life.
It belongs in kindergarten through all of our life. That when you are in kindergarten teaching kids what it means to take care of each other,
right,
to play with each other,
right,
to not steal toys from other people,
yeah,
all the way through, that's the concept of we do this because we're in this together. And if one person is suffering, then we're all suffering. That's kind of the idea. If somebody is hungry and I have the means to help that person, then I should help that person. So anyway.
But is the teacher infusing everything with that philosophy? And our teachers taught to infuse a worldview, a common, what do we call it? A love for the common good.
For the common good, yeah. I don't know. I mean, that's what I taught my students.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I taught
Yeah.
my students that the important thing about being a teacher is not that they pass the MCAS. Thank God that's over.
Yeah.
It's not that they learn to read and write like writers, and I say to them, very few kids in your class will be great scientists and discover great things.
Right.
Very few of them will be great writers.
Right.
Very few of them will be great mathematicians. Every single one of your students will grow up to be a citizen of the world. And so your job as a teacher is to give them that compassion, that creative and critical thinking, the ability to look at things and use evidence to make decisions and to go out and be a productive citizen of the world. That's what schools are about.
So education is about fostering a love of life in the world, a love of life, and an appreciation for the common good, but being a global citizen. And what, you know.
Right. And reading and writing and doing math can help us do that. Learning math helps us to become problem solvers. I mean, we all, I loved algebra, but a lot of people hated algebra. But what did it do? It helped you when your car was broken down on the Mass Pike to say, okay, I've got a problem to solve. This is what I know. This is what I don't know. How do I get from here to there? And so we use those algebraic skills all the time in solving problems of our lives. And so math and science and all those things we teach kids are valuable in helping them be the citizens of the world. So anyway, that's...
It's and your father was talking about this in 1947.
Yeah, his whole life, yeah.
Yeah, his whole life, 43, whenever it was. And probably his father or somebody was talking. This has always seemed to be
interestingly enough, my father's father deserted the family during the Depression when my dad was 11 or 12 years old, and he never saw his father again. And so the strength of the family came from my grandmother, and who was a very strong, intimidating woman, but very loving at the same time.
Sure.
And his three siblings, and the four of them just, bonded together, and they all led incredible lives. Two of them were doctors. One was a teacher. My dad,
it almost seems like your father knew what it was to live through crisis, to live through hardship or whatever.
Exactly. Right during the Depression that happened, so he lost his father, never saw him again, and,
Yeah, and went on to really have a career that really informed many, many people, I would assume.
Yeah, I think his mom said, you have to decide what you want to do.
Yeah.
Then two of them decided to be doctors, and Dad said, well, I don't want to be a doctor, I'll be a minister. So,
It's incredible.
Yeah.
An honest man also. I mean, like if somebody says to, I'm not sure that Jesus existed, when all of his life he has been preaching that message, and he does that caveat that says, but the message, and I've been worried. He probably had been going over and over in his mind. I want to believe so much. I want to,
No, the story, he says the story is so he's trying to decide in college what he wants to do. Yeah. And so he decided to say every day, this is the day the Lord hath made. Let me rejoice and be glad in it. Yeah. And he's every day, I'm going to say that every day for a month. And he said on about day 29, he said, this is the day the Lord hath made. Let me rejoice and be glad in it. And that's when he decided to go into the ministry. So he had a big faith and a belief. It was like, is the story of Jesus, all the pieces in the Bible, is it all true?
Yes.
Did he walk on water, and did he make water into wine?
Right. Yeah.
Those were the things I think he questioned, the metaphorical stories.
Right. Did he rise into heaven on a cloud?
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
Like, you know,
Yeah,
how,
yeah.
That it speaks to that there's something about faith. And strangely enough, today is Stevie Wonder's birthday.
Oh.
And there was a cartoon called Sing, and he and Ariana Grande, who played the Glinda in no, not Glinda. She played who's the other one in Wicked? The other, not Glinda is the
Good witch.
Good witch. Who is the other witch? Oh my.
The bad witch.
Glinda. I don't know. At any rate, she's that pretty little wonderful ball of dynamite in Wicked, but. Ariana Grande's 4 octaves are incredible. They're on view here with Stevie Wonder in a song that I think he wrote, American Singer. He was born in 1950, so that makes him how old?
Well, I'm 75. I was born in 49. So he's either 75 or 74, depending on when his birthday is.
Yeah, his birthday's today.
Oh, that's right. Then he just turned 75. So I am his elder.
Oh,
I'm
good.
older.
Oh, okay. Yes. Well, okay. But he will always be a wise man to both of us. Stevie Wonder and Ariana Grande. Pete, they're singing this song on The Voice of all shows, but this is Faith from an animated cartoon. Peter? There we go.
See the girl with the diamonds in her shoes. She walks around like she's got nothing to lose. She's a go-getter. She's everybody's type. She's a queen of the city, but she don't believe the hype. She's got her own elevation, holy motivation. Someone wrote this letter out in big bold. I got faith in you, baby. I got faith in you now. And you've been such a good friend to me. Lord, gotta love you somehow. I met you. Hallelujah. I got faith.
See the boy with the Stevie Wonder swag. Ain't got a clue about the magic that he has. He's a go-getter. He's everybody's type. I'ma make him a mission, make him feel alright. He's a 12 on a 10 boy, rocking up to his joint. Just say the word 'cause I can sing all night.
I got faith in you, baby. Oh,
I got faith in you now.
and you've been such a good friend to me. Know that I love you somehow. I met you. Hallelujah. I got faith. Yes, I do. I get around you and my mind goes crazy. I think about you morning, noon, night and day. I get around you and my mind goes crazy. I think about you morning, noon. I got faith in you. I got faith in you, girl. I got faith in you, honey. I got faith in you, girl. I met you. Hallelujah. I got faith in you, baby. I got faith in you now.
Underwriting for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield, serving the youth of the Whip City and surrounding communities since 1969. For more information on the Great Futures Club for ages 3 to 5, happening weekdays, and the Club Teen Center for ages 11 and older, weekdays from 6:30 till 8 p.m., go online at bcgwestfield.org or visit the club at 28 West Silver Street. The Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield. Great futures start here.
Join me, Tina Gorman, each week from 6 to 8 a.m. for Wake Up Wednesday, when my guests and I discuss health, wellness, and lifestyle reimagined.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is National Cough Drop Day.
I love
Yes.
Out of complete left field, that one
Yeah,
comes.
really. What is it? May, what's today? May something.
12th.
Tell me, I'm only on television.
It's the 12th.
It's May, no.
May 13th.
May, it's May 13th. It's the 12th where we are, where you are. It's the
May
13th.
13th.
Yeah, yeah.
National Cough Drop, Stevie Wonder's birthday.
Yeah,
and
Stevie
National
Wonder's
Nurses-
cough.
It's also National Stationery Week, Bob. And my fiance's taken up a vocation with her church. She's a Protestant church.
Right.
She decided it's part of her ministry that she writes postcards to people in need of different things, like people that are really just down or have had somebody had committed suicide in their family.
Uh-huh.
And she just wrote them like a postcard. And
Oh,
people were like
lovely.
so touched by that.
That is awesome. I love that idea.
And it's
Just like it's so out of the ordinary nowadays to get a postcard from somebody, and then kind of when you're feeling really down, you just get that personal
I love that.
touch.
Oh my God.
Great idea.
It is a wonderful idea. What's the project called?
I can't remember off the top of my head, but she found out about it. They were talking about it at church, and they were like, "This is just something you can sign on to." And I think she belongs to a Facebook group about parents with children who are bipolar.
Oh,
And
gosh.
They had kind of mentioned it there too. She goes, "If I'm seeing this twice and I'm hearing about it in these different places, I think this is what I'm meant to kind of
Yeah.
espouse."
It's an interesting thing. It's building on what we were talking about prior to, that bearing witness and being part of a solution, trying to find a way to help others. It may not necessarily be to be out there with a marching band or
Little
whatever
things.
for somebody, but the idea that somebody would take the time to put a stamp on a post. I don't even know what postcards cost, or even to just write something.
Yeah.
It's really lovely, But Cough Drop Day. What's another word for cough drop? What do you?
I'd call it a throat lozenge.
A lozenge.
Yeah.
Where does the word lozenge come from?
I have no idea.
Well, believe it or not, it has to do with the idea that it was diamond shape. The majority of cough drops were diamond shapes, and the word for rhombus. A rhombus is you're a math person. What's that?
Something like that. I don't know if two of the sides are.
Are there four sides?
There's
It's four sides that are not totally equal. It's like two isosceles. I don't know, triangle. I don't know, whatever. That's the word in French is losange, that's where we get the word lozenge. Right.
Oh my God.
And in the 20th in Egypt's 20th dynasty in 1000 BC, it is believed that candies were first used to relieve throat irritation, so they go way back. But who was the man that invented cough drops here in?
Mr. Luden.
Yes. How did you know?
Because Luden's wild cherry cough drops were my favorite candy when I was growing up.
Listen to you. How are these ingredients? Okay, so in the 19th century, physicians discovered that morphine, formaldehyde, and heroin could suppress coughing.
Oh God, formaldehyde! Oh my God.
Oh yeah, they could suppress coughing. So let's put it into our cough drops. No. However, these ingredients, some wise person deemed them harmful. Due to the possibility that they would contribute to opioid dependence. Of course. All right. In fact, lozenge manufacturers routinely indicated their products were opioid free. Do you believe that? So the lozenge would say opioid free.
Oh my God.
In 1892, an advertisement for Keating's cough lozenges stated, "They are invaluable. They contain neither opium nor illicit drugs." But in 1881, William Loudon made history when he invented the first menthol cough drops. In 1879, he began manufacturing candies in his Pennsylvania kitchen, located behind his father's jewelry store, and later he collaborated with a chemist to create amber-colored cough drops. For many years, 5-cent containers of Loudon's menthol cough drops contained licorice, honey, and menthol, and they were available for purchase. However, I think that you're right. Those cherry cough drops, oh my God, they were like candy. Were you like? Were you eating them even when you had a cough?
I want a sore throat and cough, so I could have a cherry cough drop.
Oh my God!
Loaded with sugar.
Yeah.
Loaded with sugar. Yeah.
Loaded.
Yeah. The 5 of the most effective cough drops, according to pharmacists today: Cepacol, the honey.
Cepacol. Okay.
Cepacol,
yeah.
honey, lemon, cherry, tangerine flavors of Cepacol lozenges.
Right.
Lozenges.
That's good.
Okay. Halls, first manufactured in 1893.
Good.
Okay. They account for more than 50% of cough drop sales worldwide. How do you like that? Halls. Chloroseptic. Oh, I loved Chloroseptic. But where do they still make them? They contain phenol as the active
I
ingredient.
think I used to like the spray, the chloroseptic spray,
Oh,
which you hit the
right.
back of your throat with.
Oh, right.
That's
right.
right. That's where. Okay. Fisherman's Ally.
Oh, yeah. My husband uses that a lot.
Oh, yeah. Fisherman's Friend. Now, why?
Oh, Fisherman's Friend. Are they two different things?
Well, no, it's the same thing.
Okay.
Fisherman's Friend began production in 1865 in Fleetwood, England, and produced more than 5 billion lozenges in a diversity of flavors. And your husband is...
Yeah, they tend to be more licoricey.
Oh, I love that liquor.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's what he uses.
Yeah. And then that famous Ricola.
Ricola, that's what I use. Yes,
Yeah.
I have some of those in my bag.
They are in Switzerland, and they are now in more than 45 countries worldwide. So if you're going to use according to pharmacists, look at, what do you got? Is that
Ricola cherry? I carry them everywhere I go.
really?
Yes.
In case you have a cough?
It's usually just like a...
It's from that damned allergies that you travel around. It's, that's keeping me from mooing here.
What the?
I have no idea. I have no idea. Hey, let's talk about the Pope.
Okay, instead of cough drops.
As we downshift.
Oh, my God. Wow. I was so wanting the man from the Philippines to become Pope. This was the cardinal from the Philippines.
Right.
And I was watching all of these where he sings, he dances, he's so loving and whatever. And so I was praying to the gods above that my man would make it as Pope. And so when I heard the word they were announcing in Italian, and I heard Roberto, and then I thought, That's not my man. And then I heard Roberto, and then I thought, who the heck is this? And so, and then I said American, and my heart skipped a beat. I don't know. I thought to myself, American. Oh my God. And then I learned more
about him. Yeah.
Oh my God, have they chosen right or not?
Yeah. They usually do.
I don't know. I thought I'm a bit of a maverick, but Timothy Dolan from New York is such a good guy. Whenever I hear him,
I like him a lot. But
Timothy Dolan would have been pretty good too.
Yeah, but you know what? He is a person that represents the status quo. This is a guy who is a world class. I mean, not that Timothy Dolan is not a world-class person, but the idea that he is a missionary who spent most of his life in Peru. His father was one of them was a Haitian, and so he even has and on their birth certificates, his father and his mother, it has them as persons of color. And when they came to America, they in the census were listed as white. Believe it or not.
Interesting.
So we now have a pope who is not only representing South Americans, is representing the Chicago Cubs, who he loves. We have a Pope named Bob. I just love this. I just love it. And, and when we hear folks, and when we hear him speak 7 languages.
Yeah.
And he can speak them with the accent. It's not like me trying to speak French and just,
lozenges.
Lozenges or whatever. Yeah. What it has done for the community of the world, it is so important. And he may, for the next 20 years, he's 69. Okay, so 89 maybe. Maybe he's got a good 20 more years, maybe even 10 years. Oh God, speaking a message like Pope Leo the 14th.
13th. He's the 14th.
Yeah, Leo the 3rd. I'm sorry. Yeah, Leo the 13th. This Pope who came in at a time that was really needed, and he references Leo, and I'm just so in this time period, it gives me hope in a way.
Right. I heard on the news before I came here that when he realized that it was going to go his way, he went completely pale.
Oh.
Kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to be Pope. And that it just.
Oh my God, yeah.
Any type of major, it really is a major office of whatever.
Right.
That changes anybody. Sorry, it just does.
Yeah.
They say as soon as you take on the mantle of Pope or president or leader or whatever, if you're leading a large group of people, you change because of that. Because you bear the weight of that.
Right.
Yeah, I think
that's why every president that I've seen comes out with a lot more gray hair than they went in.
Yes.
Like a lot.
Yeah. And I hope and I pray that because we have someone who, and let's face it, most of the world, or I don't know where Catholicism fits in the world scheme of things. I think it's a major faith or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know population-wise.
Yeah, but when somebody can...
1.6 billion Catholics in the world.
Wow. I think that he represents, like the Dalai Lama, like maybe the Archbishop of Canterbury. I don't know, but leaders, religious leaders who really are for the people, the common good, for the people. He can really help all of us to sort of use what he says as a touchstone. Will he get everything right? Maybe not, and I bet he'd be the first to say, I might not get this right. But what I did love is the idea that he's going to carry on a tradition of Francis, who to me was my favorite, that I prayed to and prayed for. And it's very interesting. Like your dad, I struggle with my faith. In so many different ways. In some moments I don't have faith, and other moments I do. And I remember back in the 60s sort of kneeling by my father used to kneel by the bedside every night. My father lived kneeling by the bedside until he couldn't kneel any longer.
Right.
And praying every night. And sitting in the living room at our house on West Silver and praying, and that dialogue that you have with something more than yourself. Now, whether that's something more than yourself, it could be called God or this higher power or this spiritual nugget within or whatever. I mean, where do you fit on that, God?
I don't know. I'll tell you a quick story. When my first daughter was born, I was a single parent, and I was overwhelmed with the responsibility of raising this child. And so I started asking God at night to talk to me, to tell me what to do. And night after night after night, I would do that, and God never said anything. And so one night I said, "This is it, God. If you don't speak to me tonight, I will write you out of my life forever.
Oh,
And the
God.
voice came in my head,
Yeah.
and it'll make me cry. Every time that little girl reaches up her hands to touch your face, that's me talking to you. And it changed everything for me.
Yeah.
That this baby, every time this baby reaches up and touches your face,
Oh, my God.
that's me talking to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And those were the words. And again, did they come from inside of me? Did they come from exterior? I don't know. If I understood God, God wouldn't be worthy of being God, right?
Oh, God.
Right? It's
yeah.
got to be
It's
incomprehensible.
got to be something beyond.
Beyond, because...
Well, I wonder if I don't know. Well, how do you picture him in your, or listen to that.
Her.
How do you picture her in your mind? How do you picture them in your mind? Might be a better way of saying it in this day and age. I don't know.
I don't.
You don't.
So I have been a Quaker for 40-something years.
Mm-hmm.
And what's unique or not about Quakers have silent worship.
Uh-huh.
They sit in silence and wait for messages to come. And when those messages come that they feel are from the Spirit,
Right.
then they stand up in a meeting for worship and give those messages. So
It's a basic silence for a long time, and then somebody will say,
yeah.
Yeah.
And the idea is God, if there's a God, I don't know, who knows, God hasn't stopped talking. It's not like somebody wrote this Bible 2,000 years ago and then God stopped talking. God continues to reveal itself, herself, himself, the God self all the time if we would stop and listen.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've been in meetings for worship that have been, an hour of silence. Sometimes there'll be 10 messages.
How long do they sit there for? 4 or 5 hours?
Well,
sometimes?
the old Quakers. I mean, they do have some people go extended, but
And where is the Quakers church here?
Quaker meeting?
Meeting house. Oh, it's a meeting house.
yeah, in Northampton.
Really?
Yeah.
Downtown?
Yeah, right downtown, right across from the Iron, where the Iron Horse is?
Yeah.
It's right across from there. It used to be the Elks Lodge.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So when you go into first the word Quaker.
It's really originally the Religious Society of Friends of Truth was the name of it.
Oh.
So it's the Religious Society of Friends.
Right.
William Penn
Uh-huh.
stood before a judge with his hat on. And the judge said, "You should take your hat off and you should quake in front of me." And William Penn said, "I quake in front of no one except the Lord." And that's where that's where the name Quakers came
And
from.
when the judge was saying you should quake in front of me, I would have gone, hama?
Yeah.
What
And
does
so
that
then,
mean?
so
What
they,
does that mean?
then they gave him Pennsylvania.
Yeah, really.
So what
William
can I say?
Penn, yeah.
Right. So
The Society of Friends.
Religious Society of Friends, right,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. And that quietness is not about anything but being centered and then listening to what? What are you listening to?
So it's different than meditation.
Yeah.
Because in meditation, you're centering, you're breathing, you're focusing. It's almost like you're listening to the corporate silence of all the people you're sitting with. And you're waiting for the message.
This sounds very similar to Eckhart Tolle, Tolle, and his philosophy that we are beyond our words, beyond our thoughts, and that if we can find that place beyond thought, beyond words, that there is a peace that you can take and grow and learn from. And that I've been trying very desperately in this time of my life to sort of be there more than, and I am becoming, it's sort of like my inner soul I'm in the desert with Jesus suffering with the demon,
Right.
because I have all this stuff happening to me, and there's one thought. I mean, like, and when I say stuff happening to me, it's not happening to me. It's I need to respond to this, I need to respond to that, and whatever. And there's part of me that says I don't need to respond at all. Will you just, Bob, stop trying to respond, trying to say yes to everyone, trying to make everyone happy, trying to keep yourself from being angry or whatever it is. It's a struggle right now in my life for that. But trying to be sad, I mean, like, keeping myself from being sad or being depressed or whatever. Do you get what I'm saying?
So my prayer is, tell me what to do.
Tell me what to do.
And then to spend the time listening to the tell me what to do. And a quick story about that. There was a time that my son, I don't know, he ran away from home on his bike, drove this little bike to Northampton. He was just
He drove to Northampton
on this tiny little bike, but he was in a really dark place.
Yeah.
And so I kept saying, tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. And again, the voice, every now and then I get these voices in my head.
Yeah.
All you can do is love him.
All you can do is
love him. And it lifted everything. You mean, I don't have to solve all his problems. I don't have to, I don't have to get in my car and try to find him. All you have to do is love him. So there's been a number of times, because I don't listen very well, so usually it has to be a hammer that hits me in the head, whack,
Yeah.
So anyway, and that came from just tell me what to do.
Tell me what to do. I also would ask for myself, tell me how to be.
Oh, tell me how to be. That's a good one.
Yeah, because I don't, sometimes I'm trying to be a lot of things to myself. I mean, I don't. Wait, you guys get the drift here, but I really, it's an intro. You're a fascinating woman.
Well, I didn't think the conversation would get into,
It always, but don't you think and I think everyone would agree that the conversations go where they need to go.
Right. Well, I remember.
Life needs to go where it needs to go when we don't bucket or whatever.
Exactly. I remember the very first Quaker meeting. A friend kept inviting me years ago. You got to come to meeting. You got to come to meeting. So I said, okay, I did. And I absolutely felt like I had come home, and the silence was so loud.
Oh.
It was just, and
what does the room look like? Is it set up like you were having a show with what?
Well, all meetings.
Is there a cross? Is there any kind of spirit?
No, because it's not
flowers. What is?
There may be a lot of Quakers who come from a Christian tradition or a Jewish tradition or no tradition at all.
Right.
The Quaker Meeting House in Northampton, the room is fairly. I mean, there's nothing on the walls at all, and it's just like.
Is it a square room?
A square room.
A lozenge room?
A lozenge. There are like maybe 5 sets of 3 benches that kind of, face each other, face the center. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a center, and then there's these benches.
Right.
And
what's the wall painted? Or is the wall painted?
It's definitely not that. It's
That's
kind
not
of
green. Well, this is not green. This is our green screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe this would work. This beautiful background if we have florals, trees, and stuff in spring.
It's kind of a cream-colored, white-colored. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
But
windows all along. It's right next to the police station, which is weird.
God, so you hear the...
No, you don't hear anything.
When you're in that state, thoughts come in and out. There's the river of thoughts, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's like if you're trying to personally meditate, the thoughts come in and out, and you let them come in and out.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I would get a message, and I have to say, is this a message for me or is this a message for everybody?
Give me a message that would have been for everyone. Can you remember a meeting?
I remember.
Recently?
Yeah, I remember a really stupid message that it came to me and it would not leave, and I kept saying to myself, "I am not going to stand up and give this message. I am not," and it just kept pounding at me, and so I finally stood up, and it was love. Love is like a crystal vase; it can break easily. And it just sounded so stupid, but that was the message that I kept getting, that we have to hold each other fragilely because we could easily break.
Yeah. And
So-
you stood up and said that.
I said, this is really... This,
No, then the congregation goes, or the folk go, right on, sister.
Right on, sister.
No, does anybody, I mean, is there a call and response kind
No,
of thing?
no,
No, they all nod, or do they...
No, they just sit there.
No one acknowledges it or accepts it. It's just like that's...
And what's fascinating is sometimes there will be a message that comes to me, and it stays with me, and it won't go away, and then somebody else stands up and gives the message. The same one that is rising in me.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful. It's
Yeah.
pretty powerful.
Yeah.
I have to say that since COVID, I have not been at the meeting house very often.
Yeah.
Now, imagine doing silent worship on Zoom. It's a weird thing.
Listen, I would love to have that on Zoom. When people are talking against, or
You could just...
everybody's on mute until... Is that how you do it?
And sometimes I mute my camera, and then I can fall asleep.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, that's...
I love the... Well, if somebody wanted to experience because you don't have to... You could be a Catholic or a Protestant or
atheists.
Jewish.
There are atheists who come
and
to...
still utilize this.
Right, yeah.
Wow, amazing. And so you can just go to a meeting and you're not going to have to stand up and say, I'm Bob and I'm just here to listen. Sounds like an AA meeting.
I'm Bob and no.
I was just come in with that
I'm Bob and I'm a
it's not
pope. I'm Bob and I'm a
It's not a 12-step program.
No.
I'm Bob and I'm a Protestant.
Yeah.
I'm
Usually,
Bob and I'm a recovering Catholic.
well, usually at the end of a meeting, they stand up and introduce themselves. Everybody just goes around and introduces
You have
themselves.
coffee or something?
Yeah, they have coffee and snacks after.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it on Sunday or Saturday?
Sunday.
Sunday morning?
Yes, I could send you the link the next time I get a link.
Sunday in the morning early?
So they have what's called 9:30 hour, which is kind of like Sunday school. So it'll be some topic. And then
who is there a minister? Is there a minister? No.
Worship's at 11.
Worship's at 11.
No, there's no ministers.
So who's doing the...
We have what's called the clerk of the meeting, because we have a business meeting every month just to talk about the business of, whatever.
Yeah. Do they have an offertory?
No.
No.
People donate money,
Right.
but no.
Yeah.
And there's no hymns at the beginning, no prayer. We don't say.
I called the Quakers during Vietnam War to try to get out of serving. I told you that story. At any rate, look, it all relates in one way or another. Hey, I want to play a song. I've got to use the facility, as we say in show business, and you don't hear Jimmy Fallon do that. But I know they
That's
leave
what
that
he's
set.
doing.
I know they leave that set. At any rate, hey, today is Tulip Day as well. I know. We might as well just...
Cough drops, tulips.
Cough drops.
Stevie
tulips.
Wonder and nurses.
Oh, yeah, it's exactly right.
Oh, and something else.
Yeah,
I can't
there
remember.
are plenty. There are plenty. But I want to play... I'm not going to play Tiptoe Through the Tulips. I refuse to play Tiptoe Through the... I love that. Tiny Tim.
saw him at a tiny little circus that came to Crossville, Tennessee, and I got his autograph.
Really? Yeah. This is Tiny Tim, everyone, and it's not the one from Christmas Carol. It was the Tiny Tim was a ukulele man. You can Google him and you'll see the big news that year. One year was Johnny Carson was going to host the wedding of Miss Vicky and Tiny Tim.
Yeah, he did.
I wonder how long that lasted.
I don't know.
He lived across the street from where I lived with James in New York City on 72nd Street.
No.
In a building across the street. And James used to say I was always on the watch. But he was a very nice man, apparently. I don't know. Leonard somebody was his real name. But I'm not playing Tiny Tim's Tiptoe Through the Tulips. I'm going to play Thad Jones' jazz 1963 version. This is... Thad Jones is a wonderful jazz musician, and this is his version of a song called Tiptoe.
Okay.
All right, that's the closest we're getting to tulips. Okay. Although here we go.
Underwriting for Community Radio on WSKB is brought to you in part by Rockies. Over 30 convenient locations throughout Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Florida. One of the nation's largest ACE dealers. Expertise and great product selection in paint, hardware, lawn and garden. That's Rockies. Rock solid service since 1926. On the web at Rockies.com.
Join us every Thursday morning
from 6 until at least 7:30.
Check out the Bobby G and Company Show
right here on WSKB 89.5
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 at 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
It's National Stuttering Awareness Week. What?
Well, that along with, National Nurses Day. And
Oh, well, I
National
can
Throat
match that.
Lozenge
World
and-
Cocktail Week, World Trade Week, Prepare Tomorrow's Parents Month. That's the entire month. I guess they needed a month to prepare parents or whatever. National Return to Work Week, National Public Gardens Week, National Hug Holiday Week. We talked about that. National Etiquette Week. Etiquette.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
What,
One of my real good friends in college was a guy by the name of Henry Post, and his grandmother was Emily Post.
No.
Yes.
And for
he
those
had
that
no
are-
etiquette. He had no etiquette at all. It was hilarious.
He had no etiquette.
No etiquette, but they would make him eat all his cauliflower off his plate.
Oh my gosh!
Anyway.
Etiquette. Did you train your kids to have good etiquette?
Oh no.
No. Why?
No. I mean, we trained them to have good manners. There's difference between etiquette.
What is the difference between that you wear white bucks after, like Mark
Yeah,
Auerbach would always
right,
say,
right,
you
right,
wear
right.
white after Labor Day or whatever. Or
Etiquette is that, you don't, I don't know.
What you don't? It's
all
how
I
to
could
mail
think of-
an invitation
that
to your
if a
wedding.
woman walks in the room, you all have to stand up, and then you can sit down.
Oh,
and
I
then-
do that.
Yeah.
I
that's
hold the
'cause-
door for women.
Yeah, well, that's good. I hold the
stand
door
in
for men.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
I
sure.
stand in front of women as I walk down the stairs. Do you know why?
So in case they fall, they'll
they
fall.
can fall on me.
Right, and then you would both tumble down.
Well, we probably would, but at least I would be. They land on something, and then I'd be dead. And
So
they
is
could
that
thank me.
etiquette, or is that just kind and good manners? And I don't know.
Well, I wonder. I don't know. I think that etiquette is also around making thoughtful, critical decisions, thinking critically, sort of. I don't.
I have to go look it up.
Yeah.
What does etiquette mean?
But I think that Emily Post would say, well, this is how you hold your. Oh, gosh. When I was at Westfield State, you know about this. Westfield State had a tradition where we had to go, or maybe you didn't have to go, but working in the president's office, I had to learn where silverware went on the what was that thing that we go to lunch and we'd learn how to eat in front of people? What was that?
I don't know.
You don't remember this?
I never had to do that at Westfield.
We were required to do this.
Right.
We would go and they would teach us that this is where the glass is, and you put your knife after you butter your bread. You put it on halfway on the.
Are you sure they weren't hazing you, Bob?
No, well, maybe they were hazing me. I swear that was there was an etiquette thing.
So the difference between etiquette and manners is I'm asking my children to please help me set the table.
Yeah.
And I give them the silverware, and they go and they put the fork here and the spoon there and the knife there. And that was good manners because they helped me set the table.
Yes.
Now, they did it wrong according to etiquette.
Yes, right.
But they set the table. Do you see?
Yeah. There's a different way. I guess, there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
but you don't skin a cat if you're following etiquette. You would never skin a cat.
no. And manners, you ask someone, can I get you a glass of water,
Mm-hmm.
And in etiquette, you would sit there and wait for someone to come serve you your water.
Oh, yes.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
So tell me what are good manners when somebody says to you, "Oh, I'm very dismayed about what those darn Democrats are doing." What's the good manners? What is good manners? And
Good
what
manners
is,
would be, tell me why you're dismayed. Good manners would be listening to their story.
Okay, gotcha. What would be good etiquette? To agree, to say,
Oh,
Thank-
everyone has a right to their own opinion.
thank you for telling me.
Thank you. Yeah. I don't know in that situation.
Yeah, it's
etiquette.
sorta-
I always think of as the way you hold yourself, the way you dress, the way you dine, the way you walk into the party, the way you hold your wine glass.
We have models of behavior.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, right now, many of our, on both sides of the aisle, are not modeling good behavior.
Correct.
Either wise behavior or good behavior, or both, or whatever. So learning how to be is, well, just like we talked about, or whatever. What are you reading, incidentally?
What am I reading?
Are you reading anything lately?
Well, I just finished reading James.
Oh, so good. Percival Everett's Pulitzer Prize
now
winner.
I am rereading Huckleberry Finn.
I did the same thing.
And it is amazing that I have no memory of anything in Huckleberry Finn, but I know I read it when I was in high school, but I have no memory.
Are you enjoying Huckleberry Finn?
Not particularly.
No.
Yeah, it's humorous, but it's like.
No.
Yeah, I think I like Mark Twain, and I like the way he writes.
Yes, right.
And his writing is humorous, but.
Right. Is it difficult because of the dialect and or the language in it?
No, I think it's difficult because now I look and I think, Huck, you're just being stupid. That's what I think. Why are you hanging out with these people you don't want to hang out with? Just get on the raft and leave. That's what I keep thinking,
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. It's interesting for folks who don't know James, Percival Everett, who's the author of the book Erasure, which was the American fiction film, that wonderful film you've got to see.
Right.
Okay,
right.
watch that film.
Right.
He wrote this book telling us what Jim was doing while Huck and Tom were off having these adventures or whatever.
Right.
And who Jim is a little different than the book, because the book paints him as if he didn't have a brain in his head. Could I say that? Or maybe
you mean Huckleberry Finn?
In Huckleberry Finn. I mean, he's smart, but he's not smart.
Right.
And you find out that this is a man who recognized the situation and had to be, or thought he had to be, this way.
Exactly. Exactly. He also, apparently, his new book is called Trees.
I don't know.
And it's about lynching. It's a novel about lynching. So I think that's going to be, Oh
my gosh. Okay, so look, I finished reading. And I'm going to probably do a reel on this. So when you hear my reel, you said, "Well, I've already heard this. I don't have to listen to the Instagram." I'm at Plus Bob, incidentally. Are you on Instagram at all?
No? Very rarely.
No.
Sometimes I'll check my kids out.
Yeah. Oh, God. Very good thinking. I'm not sure that's etiquette, though.
But it is good manners to check up on my kids.
All right. F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby is 100 years old this year.
Oh, wow.
Okay. There's a Broadway musical. There's a ballet that was recently, I think it's either coming up or was, at the Academy of Music. Great Gatsby has films based on it, TV shows, et cetera, et cetera. I reread it. Have you read this book?
I am sure I read it 60 years ago.
What is your...
I don't remember.
You don't remember whether you liked it or not? Nothing. You got nothing.
Got nothing.
Okay. This is considered one of the great works of fiction. First, it's only 174 pages in this book. 174 pages. Okay. What I got to say is maybe going to surprise folks. I've read a lot of different great books, and trying to read all those books I had read long ago or have never read. I was really disappointed.
Oh.
And not only that, I had some real concerns. I thought it was a little one note. And it's about the rich on Long Island, and it reflects a bit of the life of Scott Fitzgerald, trying as a writer to be famous and trying to maintain his status. He had written The Bold and the Beautiful, the first novel, and he was trying to maintain and get even better or whatever. And he married Zelda Fitzgerald, and both of them danced and drank their way through the Roaring Twenties, okay? With Gerald Murphy and his wife were a famous couple that were friends of Fitzgerald. And Zelda, so he has Tom and Daisy Buchanan in this book. And the Gatsby in this book, okay, is a very rich man with a rather dark past, or we don't know about him, okay? And Nick Carraway, who is the writer, who I still can't figure out whether he's a gay man or not. There are these, I bring that up as you read if you're going to read the book again, to try to, there are some sentences that just confounded me. And he's a poor man living next to a very rich man in a mansion who has a dark past. Well, you read along, and then all of a sudden something happened, and I said, did I just miss something? He leaves you, he goes and he just sort of says, oh, and yesterday this happened in one sentence, and there's no filler between, there's no transitions and stuff. The people are all very unlikable people, and you're trying desperately to like the rich. Now, he is saying something about America, and there are some beautiful patches of great writing in here. But I maybe have to read it again and wonder what the big deal is.
Yeah, I mean, you're not making a great recommendation to reread that book for me.
No, I know, and I feel really badly, like, did I miss something? So now what I'm doing is I'm listening to, I'm going on and I'm writing, I'm listening to all of these critiques about The Great Gatsby. And you hear why it's a great book, why it represents America at a particular time in history, why it represents Americans who are always striving to live the American dream, the hollowness of the American dream. It's all in here.
Is it the early 20th century? Is that when it's...
No, 1920s.
1920s, yeah.
1920s and into the, Oh, yeah, sorry, that is. I was thinking early
19th century, which would be 1800, I know.
Yeah. But 1920s, and in that period when suddenly there is bathtub gin and prohibition is coming, and maybe it goes into the 30s a bit or whatever. And there are some passages in here that I would love to read to you, because you would say, this is a reference to today's world. And there are some really great ones. And the idea that we become America. The people in it become America. But who are those people? They're hollow people who are working to win, are working to money is the source of everything in this book. So it has some resonance, and I think it's a better book than I think it is.
Well, my newest novel that I'm writing right now takes place in the 1915, 1920s, 1930s.
Oh my God, we've got only a few minutes here. Tell us, you have a name for the novel?
It's called Bringing Up Sarge, and it's a story of a man who is a minor league baseball player in Albany, New York, with the Albany Senators Baseball League.
Yes, right.
Also a vaudeville dancer.
Oh, I love this.
Who falls in love with a woman.
Yeah.
And so it's a story about love and forgiveness, and about how sometimes when you love somebody, there are things that happen that are unforgivable.
Oh my God.
But when you know the story behind the story, sometimes forgiveness is possible.
Wow. You know, for me, you're one of the best writers in the area. And
Thank you. I
next
appreciate
year
that.
is going, incidentally, we're working on, get this, everybody, the Year of the Writers next year. I'm working with Straw Dogs. We're going to recognize the writer throughout the entire year. We're working with the local writers groups and stuff. We're going to name a poet laureate. We're going to do all of these events around writing and whatever. Just wonderful.
But, that'll be great.
But your books are, I love Elvis and Me.
Me, My Guitar, and Elvis. It's a novel of the 1950s. It's not really about me.
Oh, right. And then that wonderful one.
Radishes and Red Bandanas. It's a historical fiction about the 1960s.
And if you go to Amazon.com and Barnes & Noble, right, you can pick these up. And if you put in your name, Trudy Knowles.
Trudy Knowles Books or Trudy Knowles, right.
You're going to get a lot of Beyonce stuff.
Right.
But,
and my website is trudyknowles.com, and you can also find them on there.
And you can find your writing on there as well.
Yes, the blog. The blog.
You have a great blog. I love having you on all the time. We've got so much more to talk about. It never ends, does
We
it?
talked about things I had no idea we were going to talk about.
Well, that's the way life is.
I know.
Yeah. Happy Tulip Day.
Thanks.
You could have your lozenges now.
Okay,
All
I
right.
will do
Have
that.
a Ludens for me, will you?
I probably have some at home,
Get
actually.
rid of that Ricola and go right to the source. Luden in honor of Luden. At any rate, hey, everybody, there's a wonderful piece about Mark Auerbach, our great companion, who passed away, as you know, our great colleague. There in the Westfield News today. If you want to pick it up and see it, it's really lovely. Hope Tremblay wrote it. I also somebody asked me why we're affected by it. We are affected by it. We go on with life with the loss of Mark, and we're figuring out how we honor him. And Peter's got some great solutions. But our Wisconsin music director wanted to honor him, and he found a song about being a friend. And Peter, I ask you play that as we go out. It's good to have a friend, and it was good to have a friend named Mark Auerbach. It's good to have Mark Auerbach in my life, in my future, as a touchstone to what a good interview is about, what a good person is, and who a good person is. So here we still salute you, Mark Auerbach, and here is that, and see you all next week. TrudyKnows.com. Thank you so much. See you
Thank
soon.
you so much, everyone.
Alrighty,
All right.
Was a friend of mine. Yeah, he was a friend of mine. He never had no money. He never was satisfied. But he was a friend of mine. Died on the road. He died on the road. He was just a poor boy, a long way from home. He was a friend of mine. Cried. Yeah, I stole away and cried. When I think about it, I still can't keep from crying. 'Cause he was a friend of mine. Friend of mine. He was a friend of mine. Never had no money. No, he never was satisfied. He was a friend of mine. Friend of mine. was a friend of mine. He was just a poor boy, long